I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. They're cheaters. I knew it. They're cheaters. Cheaters, 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 cheaters. Was Antonio Brown's Patriots signing part of an NFL long con for the ages? Welcome to the Observant Lineman. I am your Observant Lineman, Uche Waneri, and here we are. We all knew that this was something that was a possibility, and I'm pretty sure in most of the back of our minds, we kind of think it is. Antonio Brown has been portrayed as the NFL's court jester. Antonio Clown is what I call him. And thus we will address him as AC for the rest of the video. Foolish, outlandish, far too ridiculous to be taken seriously. But after Clown's supposedly foolhardy antics once again put the all-pro receiver in a significantly improved situation, I keep wondering, is it possible that he's actually the league's Shadow King? All right, Shadow King. Okay, who is this guy? Let's look at this. Because look, here at the Observant Lineman, I go through and I read these articles with you guys. I'm not looking at this before I come on here and record. So I want to know who this is, because this is my first time reading it, and I wouldn't go that far and say Shadow King, because he is not smart enough to be the Shadow King. But those two men who were next to him in this picture may be a different story. Roger Sherman. All right, Roger Sherman. Look, let's start off with Antonio Clown is not the Shadow King of the NFL. He is the court jester, and he is the clown who cried wolf, but he is not the Shadow King. Brown dominated the preseason news cycle with his seemingly erratic behavior as a member of the Oakland Raiders. First, there was the time he froze his feet in a cryotherapy chamber. Yes, we know about these things. He gave himself frostbite, froze the bottom of his feet because he's too arrogant to get into a cryotherapy chamber with shoes on like everyone else does. Then he threatened to retire over a technicality that prevented him from wearing his preferred helmet, man baby. And he tried to fight the general manager of the Oakland Raiders, Mike Mayock, and also called him a cracker. That led the Raiders to stripping Brown of his $30 million in guaranteed money and eventually cutting him. Within hours of Brown's release, however, he already secured a new gig, and a perfect one at that. Now, when you think about this situation, I'll be dead honest with you. The NFL needs to investigate whether there was any kind of collusion between AC and the Patriots, whether there were any conversations that they may have had while he was signed with the Raiders. We all have heard now that AC was actually seeking out advice on social media on how to get himself released. If you sign a contract, these guys gave you $30 million extension. You signed the contract, dude, then run with it. You got to honor it. Don't be a coward. Get off social media, AC. Get off social media. Any football player who has any respect for those other guys who suit up and go out and practice and train and sweat and bleed and destroy their bodies, anybody who has any respect for that and sees what Antonio Brown did in the past 6 months would not want him anywhere near their team. But when you're the evil empire, you'll do anything to win. If Brown plays the entire season, he will make roughly the same amount he was due to make with the Raiders and have the option to hit the free agent market next spring. After Brown was cut, it was widely joked, and we're skipping ahead here because I don't want to go through all this stuff, all the semantics that we've all heard about over the past week. After Brown was cut, it was widely joked that he would join the Patriots due to their history of having outrageously good things happen to them and their reputation for signing talented players with controversial backgrounds to low-risk deals. In my last video, I said this is why we hate the Patriots. Not because you guys win. Nobody's mad that you guys win. We're mad that somehow the circumstances always seem to work in your favor, with all things being equal. Things work in you guys' favor for no real reason at all. Did you watch the Sunday night game against Pittsburgh? 33-3 or whatever it was. They beat the hell out of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and AC ain't even there yet. So how are we supposed to even be able to swallow the fact that this guy who is a team destroyer, magically, miraculously, he's the kind of player that the Patriots want? That is a slap in the face of the Patriots way, I guess. But I know there's going to be those New England fans in the comments section who are going to be talking all kinds of crap about, oh, you just hate on the Patriots because we win! Because we win! No, it's not about that. It's about the situation with AC is the ultimate red flag to any team in the NFL. Any player of any level of talent coming into the NFL who displays this kind of behavior, man, they won't even draft him. The Patriots wouldn't even touch him. But for some reason, this just played out unbelievably well for the New England Patriots. With one day until the start of the season, they get one of the top 3 most talented receivers in the NFL, on top of having Josh Gordon, who is another elite level talent who is going to have, a great year getting the ball thrown to him by Tom Brady. These are things that, for some reason, you guys, it just works out without fail. To a degree, it's almost like they know something we don't, or they're pulling some strings from behind the scenes that nobody can see. And when it happens, it just looks totally suspicious. This whole signing of Antonio Clown looks unbelievably suspicious. The NFL, for one, where is Roger Goodell in regards to the NFL's player conduct policy? Antonio Clown recorded a conversation with his head coach in Oakland, in the state of California, where it is a dual consent state to record phone calls. John Gruden did not know he was being recorded, which makes that an actual crime in the eyes of the law in California. So why has no one said a word about this? Where is Roger Goodell? Oh, wait, he is hanging out in some freaking spa with Robert Kraft. No, that's a joke. I'm not accusing him of doing anything of the sort, but these guys are buddies. These guys are best friends. These guys have been to, you got pictures of them at each other's houses for Christmas parties. I mean, could it be any less obvious that Roger Goodell allows the Patriots to do things that he doesn't allow other leagues to do, or other teams to do, rather? I look at this situation and I say the guy broke the law. He called the general manager of a professional football franchise a cracker, threatened to punch him, threatened to retire from the NFL. And yet through all of this, we don't see or hear a peep out of Roger Goodell about this guy subverting all of the team policies and personal conduct rules that the NFL has put in place. To me, that is a bit fishy. Where is Roger Goodell? If this were, let's say a player, abusing their wife physically, Roger Goodell would be there handing out a suspension, no less, right? If this were a situation where you had a player get into a fight at a club or get arrested for having a suspended license or a DUI, Roger Goodell steps in post haste and deals justice the way that Roger Goodell knows how. But here we have a player who literally conned an entire franchise, and we have not heard anything in terms of consequences that he may face from the NFL. or from law enforcement, because he did break the law by recording that conversation. How do you get away with acting like this? Get signed right the same day. I mean, again, this guy didn't even have to worry about, for 1 second, his career being in jeopardy because of how he acted, which means he knew something was already on the horizon, or he had made subtle or subliminal communications to make sure that he was going to be good once he got released. Because as this article says, it happened so quickly, too quickly, many believe. You'd think that Brown would have remained a free agent long enough to weigh his offers from various teams, perhaps even visiting some that were interested in signing him. Apparently not. 5 hours and 2 minutes passed between Adam Schefter, the shill bum, and his tweet announcing Brown's release and the tweet announcing the details of his new Patriots contract. He literally could not have flown from Oakland to Boston in that time. It all wrapped up too neatly, too easily, too expeditiously. And that's all 100% true. I mean, we look at his agent, Drew Rosenhaus. A lot of questionable things have happened with Drew Rosenhaus and his former players over the years. The pieces, if you look at everything and you look at this situation and you start putting the pieces together, there's too much coincidence to ignore. The working theory, and we're continuing here, the working theory is that Brown's behavior was a long con. In this theory, Brown wanted to play in New England all along, and the Patriots wanted him as well. But the Steelers, and later the Raiders, refused to cooperate. Now, there's also a story that broke that said that the Raiders tried to trade him to the Patriots, which didn't work. And this was before they decided to cut him. So the Patriots knew that they were going to sign him, so they were not going to take any offer in regards to a trade. With the Raiders already knowing that New England tried to trade for him earlier in the year, they revisit that now and say, hey, look, it ain't working here. He's a fucking psycho. You guys want him? Give us a second round pick. We'll give him to you. No, they deny it. And what happens? The Raiders are forced to release him. So now the Patriots lose nothing and risk nothing by signing him instead of trading for him. And now to continue, according to Schefter, the Pats actually tried to trade for Brown in March, but the Steelers could not be convinced to send one of the sport's best players to its undisputed best team. So Brown came up with the workaround. He'll go elsewhere first, but not anywhere, as he squashed an agreed upon trade that would have sent him to the Bills and intentionally sabotage his time with the team by acting as unruly as possible with the end goal of going to New England. A source pitched this theory to him before Brown's release, not with cynicism or even anger as much as acceptance. Of course, it would go against NFL rules for one franchise to encourage a player to get cut from another franchise so that it could sign him on the open market after previously failing to negotiate a trade. But the Patriots have never shied away from engaging in mildly illegal activities, have they? Hit the like button if you like this video. Subscribe to the Observant Lineman Uche Waneri. Hit the bell notification so you can get notified whenever I release a new video. Thank you very much for coming in and listening to my little small rant over the Antonio Clown situation. And we will catch you on the next Observant Lineman video. Peace.